Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Taz Olsen here, and I'm going to show you an awesome guide on something cool that you can do in After Effects. It involves flames, and most importantly, this involves reflections, which is actually a lot more difficult to do than people would think it is. But I'm going to show you how to do it really simply. And like basically, you know, when you in this tutorial, we're going to have a fireball type effect, and when that fireball launches, it will also reflect onto the ground. So that's basically the effect we're going for, and I'll show you how to do that effectively. Okay, so let's open up After Effects. First we have our this clip. Go through there. You know, it's got the basics. And seeing as like at the end here, it starts to move quite weirdly. Like as you can see there, I do not want that movement. So right before that happens, I'm going to just cut it. So yeah, let's see, where does it start? Right about there. So now I've cut it out, and we can get down to business. It still is an unstable shot because, well, I shot it on a without a tripod. So I'm going to go to Animation, Stabilize Motion, and first we take our track points and we find two good track points. We need two because we're going to hit rotation, and yeah, we have two. And what a good track point is, it's something that stays in the image the entire time. It's solid, like it doesn't move anywhere, and it's very distinctive. Like in these, you know, these grass patches are a lot darker than the others. They're actually weeds, if I remember correctly. So we're going to use these, and it's going to be awesome. And then we just hit this Analyze Forward, and we'll do it all by itself. As you noticed at the end there, it screwed everything up. So, because it's screwed up, we are going to go through them. You don't have to do this if it doesn't screw up, but in case it does on yours, you go forward using the page up and page down to scrub through frame by frame. You wait until you find it's screwed up, and then you just adjust it. And it is simple as that. Okay, now we're back to here. Big jump. You know, let's just cut this section out and hit apply. X and Y. And we'll go to the point where it screws up majorly. And that is right about there. And we'll just cut it. And crap. Move this there. And we cut it there. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, so that now we go hit S, bring up scale. Let's bring this to like 107. That takes care of most of the blacks that's on the outside. You'll sacrifice a very small amount of quality, but that's not a big deal. So now next we will go to we will type in motion tile and just add a motion tile, and we'll hit mirror edges and bring this to 150 for output height and width. And basically what this does, if anything comes out, like any of those black sections come out, it will mirror it. It will like add a mirror on the edge. So for instance, if I pull it out here, as you can see, this section is all mirror. Like it's a mirror of this section. So if I bring it out enough, well, I didn't increase the width enough, so whatever number. Oh, I can only have 500. But yeah, you'll see it goes all the way over there. So yeah, let's just undo a bit until we get back to our original. So anyway, yeah, that's how you stabilize motion. Next, we're going to go into our we are going to open a new composition, whatever length. We can always change it later. Start a new solid layer. Now we are going to go fractal noise, and we're gonna have some fun with this. First up, bring this contrast up to a 150, and then what you're gonna do, absolutely nothing. You're gonna make it into a new composition. Now in comp 6 we have comp 5. Now what we have for this use is some interesting stuff. First thing, we're going to go into this rectangle tool, go with the ellipse option, and hit in the center, Control, Shift, and bring it out large enough so it's not quite at the edges, but it has a fair amount of space at the edges. Now we're going to hit F, bring a mask feather, bump this up to about 75. That looks about good. And you know, toggle the alpha. You can see that. And now, like basically what we're looking for is an effect that looks like this in the long run. And then from there we mess with it some more. So this is basically what we're looking for in the long run. So we go back to here, and we shall add a radial blur then. So let's type this in, radial blur. Not the CC radial blur, just the regular radial blur, because CC one will screw you up. Let's bring this down to about 7. And next we will add a curves. So color correction, curves. And let's give this baby some contrast. Now you can see it looks a little different now. It looks pretty cool. Next, of course, we have Colorama. This one, as you can see, it's a very interesting effect, and I'll show you how to do it. Colorama. You cannot spell it with an OU, just OR. So now we come up with this. Now this can be fun. 1 second. First, we go back to our comp 5, hit evolution at the very beginning of the comp, and go to the end and bring this up to about like 2.5 or whatever number, depending on the length. So it has a good amount of animation. Always good. So go back to comp 6, hit output cycle, and then we can mess around with these. These are always fun to mess around with. So basically you'll see these are the colors that are out here. What we want to do is we want to change these to make it look like our fireball. So say if I hit blue and turn this into like this burgundy here, everything that was blue is now that burgundy. Now if I go to cyan, turn it to orange, everything that was cyan is now orange. So yeah, the same concept works for all of them. And you know, you work around with this until you find something that you really like. Let's see, green, I really don't like that. Yellow, I really don't want that at all. And then, of course, we're freezing. There we go. Bring it down to black. Bring this down to black. Take this, drop the alpha completely. And it does take a little bit of figuring out to find your exact output cycle that you want. Like, for instance, this is the one I want. So you can also use this as sort of a benchmark area. So let's see, at the top we need a black. Then we need a reddish. Then a orange, and then a yellow. So this becomes a yellow. This becomes a dark orange. Not quite that dark, about that dark. And what just happened? There we go. So there we got that. Then of course you can mess around with these some other ways also. You know, increase your effects. So yeah, that's basically how it's done. And then we're gonna add a CC lens. Lens. Too many C's. Under distort, and this converge, we're going to turn it down to 23. And that's about it we're going to do with this particular clip. Actually, you know what? I don't even like that CC lens. Let's take that off. That looks good. And now we get to have our ultimate fun with this clip. We can just turn this one off. I think we should also scale this down a bit. No, not that part. We should go to the mask. I think that's a little wrong. And yeah, we can bring this up and in however we want. I'm okay with that, but yeah, you might want to, make these edges a little more realistic. Not circle there. But we're going to fix that in a second anyway, so bring the comp 6 into a new composition. And again, ellipse tool. And let's make this elliptical mask. It's not quite there. And let's bring the feather up to 60-ish. I think that should do. And that's looking pretty good. So let's go into this blast composition again. Let's bring our composition in. And first, that looks pretty cool. But then there's the whole fact of, wow. Okay, I think I just accidentally made a mask. Nope, never mind. So yeah, we come up and we notice, wow, that's a little big. So let's bring the scale down a lot. See, it looks about good at that size. Let's also add some blur in there. Let's see. Let's add a lens blur. That'll always look nice. Let it load. Having issues loading. Let's bring it up to 60 so we can see a little better. Yeah, so now we'll notice, it's more blurred. It blends a bit better. So I like that. Let's bring this up to 25. There. bring the scale back down to 17. And let's move it in place. It's kind of an interesting effect. So, now we have other stuff to mess around with. Let's expand this. So, let's hit here, position, with P. Hit the stopwatch, and what we have to do now is, once it loads, we have to track it to the guy's hands. So what we're going to do, we're going to scrub through with the page down and page up options, and that's going to be the movement. Okay, just to make it easier, let's bring the scale down a lot, just so we can see the average area that we need. Alright, load. We can also turn this down to half so it loads faster. And yeah, let's just scrub through here quickly. Crap. So yeah, we're getting to the point where he will eventually throw it. You know, in the process of Dragon Ball Z or Z or whichever country you feel like being in. I'm Canadian, so I will say Z, because that's the way that's the official Canadian way. And so yeah, once it leaves his hands, I give it that motion, but you don't want it to be perfectly straight up. You do want it to sort of like float up, give it sort of that gravitational feel. You also want all of these to be linear keyframes, so there's that, and then once it's off screen it doesn't even matter. Just for good measure, though, I'm going to send it off for one last final keyframe, and then I'm going to go to scale, hit the stopwatch, and now I'm going to start caring about the scale it's at. Now scrub through until it reaches a point where it should start moving. Right about there. And yeah, let's add a keyframe there. Let's bring this down to like 2. So then it'll start to like charge up and get bigger. And then we will what's next? We're going to as it is pushed through his hands, we will enlarge it even more. Not that much. You can do it that much if you want overkill, but overkill is only fun in a whole lot of places. And yeah, we'll have it at about 13 when he actually gets it out of his hand. Alright, so, sorry. After Effects had a little crash problem, but we fixed it now by restarting. I accidentally, I had to reload up my composition. I didn't save that particular one because it was for a guide, so I loaded up my previously completed one. So this the tracking and everything, it's a lot better. And the lens blur and radial blur are on the actual composition, and that's composition 3 now, so that's that. Either way, now what we're going to do, we're going to go layer, new, solid, and color doesn't matter. Now we're going to make it 3D. We're going to go to rotate, and going to rotate on this axis, and we're going to mess around with a little bit and make it so it sort of fits the horizon plane, or the horizon plane that you want it to work on. So now we got that, and now we're going to go layer, new, light. Let's go a reddish color, not too red, and seeing as it's usually pretty off to start with, go to top, and let's bring this over. That's not what I wanted to do. This is the light. Now let's go back to active camera, and we'll go here, toggle switches, change this to classic color dodge. Now we are in business, so let's change this intensity up. Now you can see it doing some work here. Let's move it more this way. And let's move it underneath our fire itself. That's not what I wanted. Actually, let's move it to the fire itself. And let's go light options, intensity. Let's hit the stopwatch, bring this out a bit, and bring this down to like 60. Actually, you know what? Let's not bother with the stopwatch on this because we got a more effective method. Let's bring these back, and so anyway, we see these. Now we're going to go to the white solid, back to material options. Now we're going to have some fun. We're going to mess around with this. First, shininess, I want to bring this down to 1, and then bring it forward on the Z, if I can find the Z. That's not the Z I want the Y, I guess, on this one. But not for that. I want it for the light. Z light. There we go. Right at about where it would be. Right near his feet in this particular case. And spring the specular. Let's leave it about there. Metal. You can mess around with these. Metal doesn't really seem to change much. Ambient, you can drop this or bring it fully up. Doesn't really make a huge difference again. Diffuse, this is the one that makes a big difference. Specular, let's also bring that down. Diffuse, yeah, let's stopwatch this. Let's move this out a bit, and then we'll just go down to a more realistic number for something that's, you know, sort of just starting. And where do we go? Where does it start growing? And let's go to scale here, see what keyframes we have. May want to match the keyframes actually. Diffuse, we'll bring this down still. Still not that big. Then here, the image is a lot bigger. So let's bring that scale up for this section more, as well as the diffuse, and ultimately we will reach a higher diffuse and specular based on the size. You can mess around with what exact settings you want, and then we will also go up to the light, hit P, track the position. You could also alternatively just go here, grab all the position keyframes, and paste them here. And of course line them back up again. And we'll have to change the Z-axis. Actually, we'll just select them all and change the Z-axis of them all. And yeah, we'll have to re-keyframe these all. Never mind. So now we are going to have to go through all of the spots here, and we are going to keyframe them. You know, so hit the stopwatch and let's move the light to where it should be for each of the keyframes. Seeing as it's just light, doesn't matter too much if you're a little stingy on it, especially for the section where it's just sort of charging up. That spot doesn't really matter. Alright, so now we have the light tracked, and now that we see it moving, I think I might want to go into the light properties again, and actually not the light properties, sorry, material options again, and bring down the specular to like 30 for the entire time, and the diffuse, the diffuse is alright. So yeah, we got, because yeah, light from fire, it's sort of more area, it's not too defined in the center area. So yeah, that's looking pretty good so far. And I apologize if some of the cuts are screwing you up, but whatever. So now we've got this going. Now let's add a new layer. Solid. Not text. Solid. Color doesn't matter again. We're going to go to Effects and Presets, and we're going to type in trap code, or sorry, particular. We're going to get the trap code particular effect, and we're gonna drop it in here, and now we're gonna make some interesting smoke. So we're gonna go to this, we're gonna grab the position, we're gonna Control C and go down here, effects, particular, emitter, position XY, let's bring it to the front here. There we go, and now we've already got the position tracked. Now this, like I said, this is going to be our smoke. We don't want it to be too noticeable, but already it does kind of look kind of cool right now. So we're going to go into physics. Seeing as it is smoke, we're going to give it a negative gravity, say negative 20. See how much that affects it. And then we're going to go to particle. It's not going to be sphere. It's let's see, glow sphere. Because glow sphere works pretty good for this. And size, bring this up a lot. And the life, let's bring this down to like 2. Or actually, no, 0.3. And opacity over life. So let's change the opacity to like 70. Sphere feather. Let's bring this up to like 100%. Emitter. Particles per second. Let's go 20. No, we need more than that. Let's go 50. Okay, let's bring the size up again. Let's bring the T for opacity and drop it for the entire layer. And let's change particle set color to over life. And color over life, we'll change this. Let's go something like this, except let's make the black come first. Let's have it come out a bit, and then the gray, let's make it a dark gray. There we go, that looks like a nice transition. Very nice. Let's change this to maybe 0.5. Should maybe cover up some loose ends. Emitter. Let's bring this up to 70. And then, yeah. Let's change the size. A little larger. I guess we'll have to go 80. You know, you sort of want to keep it all covered. Opacities, drop it again. I'll drop it to like 60-ish. And particles per second. We want to start keyframing that. We want to start off. And before that, actually we'll have it start off as 8. We'll just go to 81 and a few frames back. So let's go straight to it. Effects, particular, emitter. Just bring these. That's about good. And we'll drop this down to 0 so it starts then. That opacity needs to be dropped again. Let's go 30. Oh, and the size is way too high. Yes, that looks good. Then the gravity, let's drop it a bit more so it starts to rise. let's go back to the effects, particular emitter. Let's increase the particles per second back up to 100. So I guess don't really change it. Alternatively, you could use smokelet, but it doesn't have quite the same effect. I like to use the glow sphere for this, and so yeah, it gives a nice faded sort of like smoke effect. I want to increase that even more. So yeah, that's about good. Now what we're gonna do, we don't need to mess with particular anymore. Now we're gonna add the really cool stuff, which makes it look a lot better. So first we're gonna go project. You don't need this clip, but under this, let's see, we have somewhere in here I've got, yeah, from the that's not what I'm looking for. There is a clip. Here we go. It's the 17th one from the Video Copilot like purchase section. You could get the real clouds type videos, and this is one of them. This is the 17th one. So here we've got this, and what we're going to do, we don't actually need this clip, but we're going to have some fun with it. So type in toner. This is again a CC effect. So start off adding it to the base. Nope, I want to move this clip off. So yeah, let's add it to here. And let's go highlights. This is about here. Midtones. It's kind of this gloomy color. Let's choose that again. And we always want to keep shadows at the black. So just bump this up to like 50. It sort of gives this added realism to the clip. You know, maybe drop down. Yeah, that's about good. So it looks better now. We can also add a auto contrast, which will make it look even better. There we go. See, that looks pretty stinking good now. Now let's just take both of these, control, and we can paste these on. We don't need this clip anymore. We'll paste these onto everything. Not the smoke though. But this, yes. We paste it onto, nope. Now we paste it somewhere. Because yeah, it's on the alright, so now we've got this this awesome effect. And some stupid double light glitch. Alright, so that's the end of this particular tutorial. Hopefully that covered a really interesting effect for you. I think this looks pretty stinking cool as an end result. Whatever. I think it looks pretty cool as an end result, so you can be the judge of that. And if you have any other ideas for a guide, I'm always looking forward to, you know, making a new one if you have an idea. So yeah, I'm also posting videos like pretty much every day, so if you want to be caught up on those, you can always subscribe. Most importantly, of course, you know, give me more ideas for other guides. Hopefully I can appeal to your senses of entertainment. So until then, my name is Taz Olson, signing off. Bye.